Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Nick Gamer, and welcome back to some more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Uh, yeah. Where we left off, what's his name? Christoph. Yeah, Christoph. Well, yeah. Uh, him. So he's probably the killer because Phoenix was lying just to make it so he can help out Apollo. I'm guessing, but he asked Kristoff. I freaking forgot his last name. Kristoff, specifically to help too, because of the phone call they had, which was this. Can I hear the phone call again? Well, I can't hear the phone call. Well, he said about something about the pate or something, and yeah, that he's talking about the guy's head, and there's a cut on it. So yeah, let's just keep on going. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. That was his last name, Gavin. Who would have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Wait. Is that Phoenix's daughter? Oh, sir, please pick a card. What's all this about? Uh, this one? Okay. Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. Trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all. Where do I remember that card from? Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces, and no way. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating. I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. It's blotch of red. Is this blood? Bro, you have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate's in your hands. I know you can do it. Team card. The truth. That was his daughter. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. Girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Bloody ace added to court record. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Courtroom, number 2. Wait, is she in the profiles now? No, she's not. Court will now reconvene. Defense attorney Christoph Gavin will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. The witness, state his name and occupation. Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing you need to have made clear. How do you know about the secret beneath the victim's head? I'm guessing he means the face that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is this about? What is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have inordinate interest in it. Phoenix? Oh, I wouldn't call it an endurance. Bro, I'm sorry. Bro, no way. It's like... Mr. Wright. What do you think you're doing right? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. Bro, they're playing the original objection theme. I like it. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant where he was hit. Oh. When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime when the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime at the time of the crime. In other words, you'd have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Bro, I'm happy they played the song. Mr. Gavin? I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with the collapse. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid, in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, were you involved in the events of that fateful night? Bro, I still, the other games skipped out on the original objection theme, and I like that more than all the other ones, to be honest. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the truck. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead and he appeared in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. Okay. For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the death. I forgot to read something again. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through the little window. Right. You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo? Oh! So, right, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial's getting weirder and weirder. I think I know what I should press first because it was weird. This. So there are only 3 at the scene of the crime. Yes, as far as I saw at least. Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Mr. Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, oh, what a bitch. My office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. And yeah, yes, this mysterious fourth person who would completely be the regular as us. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards? Perhaps you can show us the reasons. How can I show something? I can't if I remember, Apollo. The card that was swapped out was the fifth ace. Well, Mr. Justice? The question of why the killer would swap out the card has been raised. Can you point out the reason? Show evidence. I'm gonna show it. It's now or never. The defense would like to present the evidence to the court. Evidence showing the... And go ahead and point out the reason. I keep on skipping stuff. Why did the killer take the fifth ace? Please. My reason is, this. Is that an ace? Why? Why is it got blood on it? Right next to the spade. What? This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be the missing fifth ace? Bro. Bro. Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. I missed Evan so upset. It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card is mine. It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Boat Club that night after the murder had occurred. Sorry if you can hear blowing in the background. That's my air purifier. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade, after all. The court can't accept this evidence. It's fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could have claimed it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? Take another look at this photo. At the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell on the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on the card? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissional. Oh. Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what the serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of the legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene, and now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This baseless conjecture. Next. Oh, I assure you it's quite base. It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Oh! Oh, I'm getting frame drops. The murder took place in a hideout. The body of the lifeless victim was found at the poker table, and before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position is in the diagram doesn't fit? The victim, the killers, the witness, or the second witness? Okay. Interesting. Whose position doesn't fit? It's gotta be this. Well, isn't it the victim's position? That's the problem. I don't follow your logic, Mr. Justice. Well, look. Look at the victim. Look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of? Yeah. Ah. Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would have fell on the floor, not the card. Why, that's right. So what does this mean? Incidentally, we were all sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Wait. The chair was facing the other way. It would have to be. Or every time it does this, I have frame drop. Okay, so we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Miss Roy returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in the photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder, but this creates another significant contradiction. Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on the diagram contradicts our new understanding of time? The victims, the killers, the witness, or... It's gotta be the killers. Yeah. Yeah, it has to be the killer. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it have been hard for the killer to hit him from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yeah. Bro. Oh. I clicked. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of the game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. Bro, this game, like, I don't know. Okay. There's just something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting, as shown here, where would the assailant be standing? Try marking on. Oh my god. But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have been be standing to strike our victim from the front? He would have been. Right there. The killer had been here. You get points for flair, but that's about all you get. I thought I was onto something too. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. Yeah. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Ah, simple logic, really. If it was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means at at the very moment of the crime? Wait, I know. Very moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard and the hideout immediately. Let's send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor. What? There's one more thing your men should be looked for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. But let's forge ahead while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. The killer was standing here at the time of the crime. Then the cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Thank you. You can see the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction, what I believe to be the final contradiction. In fact, oh my god. Okay. Oh, wait! Wait, where is it? Not that. Where is it? Where's the thing? I don't have it. Crap. The cupboard was blocking the window. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logic. So the second witness could not have seen the crime. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point out the new contradiction. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second? It's the second witness. It has to be. About this cupboard. Yes. Are we okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't... The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah! That's right, someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see. Someone like Mr. Gavin. Did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his school? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Bro. Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law, and I will have order. Yeah, we just now received word from our investigation team at the Bush Bowl Club. Examine the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor? We examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. Yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room. Many of our regulars know about it. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentioned it. The secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. The room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of bush, no doubt. Just like our killer. Uh, you see where our lines of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? But I don't believe it. The girl wasn't kidding when she said I need this trump card for the last game. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith and Mr. Knight from calling me. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Hmm. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think I can probably figure it out. We can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. And the chance came, and he took it. How did you do that? Wait, here, I'll get help. Olga earlier was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. His time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cop, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the aisle with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passageway into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboards fighting inside. He wheeled his chair around and looked, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. Okay, that single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Okay. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor and the fact that they were all red. Yep. I like to point out the people at the top, right and left corner are not dudes, just dudes this time. They're girls too now. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. Yes, it has. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Yeah. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne. Yes, sir, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation as for from Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant. He is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening. But I'm afraid the surgeons call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Oh, no need to apologize. I'd rather enjoy myself. Oh God, it's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty package firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me. The defendant is clear of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. The bottle, for instance. Bottle? How do you intend to explain away fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes, the fingerprints on the bottle were on upside down. See, oh, this being mentioned earlier. The court and the case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why it would be the bottle would be upside down, and that is they hit someone with the bottle, part of the bottle. Well, Your Honor. See how that caught fish burns through life? Well, Apollo, yes. Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you could come up with a suitable explanation just for that. Yes, just like, why would anyone grab the bottle upside down rather than... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is only legitimate. There's really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there in plain sight. Okay. How about you... Okay. It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions, indeed. Let me look at... it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that. It would not... I don't think it would. Wait. I don't know. Well, Mr. Justice, you have inside the court, and this case is explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until the justice is done. Perhaps the defendant was here to enlighten the court. What evidence? Wait, let me look at this again. So sorry, this doesn't fit on the freaking what's it called? The overlay, but it's fine, I guess. Wait, if he had to grab the bottle, he would have had to grab it upside down, wouldn't he? Maybe. Don't. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place the bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me, on the floor? Yes, now reach down and pick it up without getting out of your chair. Ah, bro, I was right. What the? Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. See, you'll naturally go to the pickup the bottle by its neck with your fingers upside down. This song is good too. I like it. Apollo seems pretty good. Look at this photograph taken out on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano. Oh. Would I have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times? I can't believe it was that they call her dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went to pick up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like a murder weapon. Order, order, order! What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Kevin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? Claim that I switched the bottles? The bottle? Where's your proof? Proof? Well, that's, As I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Oh, fingerprints? Question mark, Your Honor. When you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Ah, yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano after Porsche bolt. And here's one of the bottles in question. Were you going to dust off that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any wrong but his. And probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. I say a bottle? Yes. Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. Is it? Wait. No way. Wait a second. It's the card. There's something inside the bottle. Bro. Oops. I don't know what I did there. What's this? Wait, what did that do? Oh, it just flipped it to the side. What's this? It can't be. Recall the unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Orly? Yes, our little swindling Devaka, I can't speak Russian. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost his hand just like that. He was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't. You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one that you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hands in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was a 5 of cards, and I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed where? That's where there was an empty grape juice bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. 5 of cards. It's the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Is he gonna break? That is all. Bro. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little ta-ta, right? This is insane. What about me? Don't I get up to prosecute anyone? Bruh. I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None of that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shoddy Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An old profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good, Mr. Wright. Yes, 7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and as a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated in this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney, you, Apollo. This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Right. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Wait, is he gonna work with us? Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Boom. Boom. Yes. Court is adjourned. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna read this part. Just in case it's to be continued. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gav, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability, yes, sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is that true? Of course, it's true. But that, Mr. Wright, you'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer, right? Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? But this locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in the locket. What's her name? Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know you were right about this locket. Eh? I took this off his neck the night he died, but it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, the locket really did belong to him. That's perjury. Yet you testified that you said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing the locket up with the picture of your daughter inside? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. There. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Office, after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Hello? Yes? How about coming to work for me? Coming to work for me? Eh? You mean at the writing code law office? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but wait, but you're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes, I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago, that legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was the man Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion and he left law. Haven't you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed, a naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd. Well, superfluous. But that this was forged evidence? Wait a second. Was it this? This? Don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because Taylor took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place. Luckily, the court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? It would. I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it was real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney? Apollo. So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Punch. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address, drop in here if you like. Right. Oh, about your uppercut? Try yelling, take that, next time. I find it packs a little more. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And that Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. The end. Bro. What a first episode. Brand new episode has been added to Turnabout Corner. Save, yes. Alright, well, I'm gonna leave this episode of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney here. If you guys want to see more of this game, please smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.